Jocko Willink, tactics to flank/shift a ferocious analyzer from paralysis to go. Meaning, someone who overthinks things and hesitates all the time.
Planning. Well, there's a couple things here. If the person is above you or below you in the chain of command. So if they're below you in the chain of command, you explain to them, you say, look, we don't need perfection. We're not going to have 100% solution. We don't have 100% of the information. That's a good enough solution. We need to move forward. Let's execute. And you know what? If things go wrong, don't worry about it. I'll take responsibility for it. I'm not going to blame you, which is what you're going to do anyways as a good leader. So that's what you're going to do if they're below you in the chain of command. If they're above you in the chain of command, guess what? Same thing. You're going to say the same thing like, hey, boss, we don't need perfection here. Look, boss, we're not going to get all the information we need. We're not going to get 100% solution. We got a 90% solution, and let's go for it. And if things do go wrong, you can blame me. I don't care. So boom, whether they're above you or below you in the chain of command, you might change your tact or your verbiage a little bit, but it's the same overall concept. You got to get them to understand that we don't need perfection. We need to move forward. And the other thing is you explain the cost of not moving, the cost of staying still, the cost of being reactive instead of proactive, and basically the cost of not being aggressive, because that's what we're talking about, is a lack of aggression. And so what does that look like? Well, you explain to them that the longer we sit, the better position the enemy gets into. The longer we wait, the less we know about what is actually happening. Think about that one. The more you sit here and you're planning, the less we know what's going on out there. The things are happening. They're changing. They're evolving. The enemy is maneuvering. There's developments on the battlefield or in the marketplace, and you don't even know because you're sitting in the planning space. The longer we wait, the less time we have to recover if something does go wrong. So if we sit here and plan for 47 days, and on the 48th day we step out and we start to execute and something goes wrong, well, we're not going to make the 50-day mark because we spent all that time planning. So the longer that you're sitting around, the less time you have to recover and adapt and adjust. And the longer that you wait while you're doing planning, the less relevant your plan actually becomes. So that's what you need to make people understand. And then there's people that are just habitual and chronic ferocious analyzers, and those are the people you got to watch, but you got to continually just get through their head that the more we sit, the more the enemy maneuvers. And if we let them maneuver on us anymore, we're going to get killed. That's it. Pretty easy. No, it's not easy. It's a simple concept. It's hard to get people out of their own heads. Just like everything else, it's hard for the ferocious analyzer to recognize themselves as that. They think they're doing a good job. They think they're actually being thorough, and you're a wild man. You're a cowboy. Are you crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I remember one time my first deployment to Iraq, they said, hey, John, this was after I'd been there for a while, and for some reason, they wanted to know the minimum requirements for us to go out on an operation. And I said, I just need a vicinity of the target and of radio frequency to talk to the local conventional units there. And they were like, well, don't you need air support? Don't you need this? And I was like, all these other things. I was like, no, we'll figure it out. Just send us. We'll go. And there was other things that we would do as we'd move to a target. We'd align things up, and we'd be good. But sometimes people wanted to plan out every last detail, and that doesn't work. The details are not going to stay the same. The things that you're planning on are going to change. So don't sit there and plan every last detail, because it's not going to help you. Man,
that's actually a pretty good point. I never even thought about how you say if you spend too much time planning, and then you jump in the game all late. It's like, dang, you have no time to make any adjustments.
Can't react. You better go perfect, because that's the one shot you got at it. And guess what? It's not going to go perfect, because things don't go perfect. Things are not going to go perfect. Not going to happen. No such thing as flawless execution. Dave Burke just wrote an article that was on Business Insider. That's what it was. Like, flawless execution doesn't happen. He was a Top Gun senior instructor for 3 years. He knows about flying, and he knows how hard they worked towards flawless execution, but it didn't exist. The flawless execution was analyzing their mistakes, seeing what they can improve upon. That was flawless execution for them. It wasn't the actual act of flawless execution. They, what they had? Flawless debriefing. Flawless analyzation of what they did wrong. But it wasn't going to be perfect ops, and there's no such thing. It doesn't happen. So if you're sitting and planning that, trying to make that happen, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
So don't do it.
Just jump. Just go. Next question.